I got to ask though, because like I have the super pale skin. How are you not tan to a crisp being in that hot summer Texas weather? Because like for me, even though I am like the whitest person ever, when I go out, I will get somewhat of a like a farmer's tan at least.
Well, so I'm on Accutane.
Oh,
I am on Accutane. I started that, and it has made a world's difference in my skin. Don't know if you can tell, but I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell because you'd have to like see me up close. Probably, I could probably show you some pictures after this or
no,
something. But
I've seen your Instagram profile. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, so Accutane is a f***ing wonder drug. It just has so many adverse side effects, like being out.
Can I just say one of the benefits about growing out a beard is that you don't have to worry about your acne up in your face at all because it covers everything.
You lucky bastard!
Like
It's so fair.
I can feel like 2 or 3 zits underneath there, but I was like, huh, no one's gonna notice.
Right? That is, you can have your face just take, and it's like such a big part too, you know. But that's another thing is Accutane runs through your liver. It's processed through your liver, and I believe it's like a really big dose of a derivative of vitamin A. And this going through my liver prevents me from one drinking. And to be completely honest, like my first show, was I completely natural? I mean, I got first place out of, or at least that group, and then second place overall out of like a lot of women. So I'll just leave it that there were women competing here that, were not natural, and I was part of it. And so that obviously runs through your liver as well, which is why you want to take milk thistle, which is why you want to make sure that you're taking care of not only your hormones, but your liver at that time during those periods. And so that's also another thing that I contemplate. Well, one, any type of anabolic that you run, especially as a female, but even as a male, you're going to have some sort of side effect. There's definitely going to be a positive one, but there's probably going to be a few negative ones. And one of those is acne. Something I definitely noticed was, my shoulders or my arms, even my chest, my back, and my face already had some, but it kind of flared it a bit, changed the like structure of it all. And I've done really well on Accutane. My skin texture has changed tremendously. I don't see any more pimples, and I haven't seen that in, I don't know, 3 years. So I'm very happy about that. But I know going into something, I mean, look, you can compete completely natural. Now,
I'll say good luck then if you decide to do that. Then yeah.
exactly. And it's just that's the way the sport is. Like, uh, obviously, there's different ways to measure and do it from a coach, get mentoring, make sure that you know how to do it. It's real and it's just not some random thing off the street that someone offers you. Like you want to do this as safe and as like correct as possible. But point is, it runs through your liver as well, and it also can give you the propensity to develop acne. And that's something that I'm not sure if I, am willing to like take. I looked up some forums on it, maybe just for future reference, if that's the case. I'm not saying I'm doing anything illegal, but whatever. And it was like people that had responded from 2012, and they were men in particular. And so I just wasn't, I mean, obviously that's not information I'm going to follow. So it's kind of hard for me to know when that time comes, like, oh, like if I do this, am I going to follow this progress that I have? But we'll think about it in the future, maybe. Unless some advice.
Well, I'd say, I have never taken anything myself. I'm going to be completely honest. The biggest compliment I ever got in my entire life was in college when my friends came up to me and they're like, "We're concerned about you. Like, are you on drugs or something like that?" And I was like, "Oh my God, that's the greatest thing you've ever said to me. Like, it shows that I'm actually like working that hard." And so it's like, "Oh my God, you really think I am?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. I mean, if Myoplex is considered a drug and like creatine when I was like a teenager, but yeah, I haven't done any performance enhancing drugs other than, just my God-given natural abilities is what I'd say to, people." But, yeah. And it's like, yeah, people just don't understand too. You have to be basically like a genetic freak to be able to do this sport without taking, anything. I've had like one or two on the podcast. So everyone that's asking me, I always say it's like 99 or 95% of the guests that I've had on are doing something. And it's just a part of the sport. I mean, obviously they're not taking like straight up, like bull testosterone or something like that, but it's like, yeah, it's obviously you got to do something in order to get that lean and stuff like that. It's like it's not natural to get that lean and to like have ab veins coming out of like a six-pack and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, okay, try doing that yourself and then tell me how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like I like it during that time. I like to precisely measure it, because obviously it comes in all different forms. I will never use a needle. I never do that. I will never go so far that is unnecessary, that is going to cause any type of virilization, because that's a sign that your hormones are not in the place that they should be biologically for you. And unless you are transitioning fully over to a different gender, the opposite gender, then running off and on and off and on for long periods of times on your hormones is going to you up. And there's a lot of repercussions to that. So I the first show that I did bikini, obviously it was natural. That wasn't second show when I did figure. I was natural until 4 weeks out, and I did like a 10-week prep, was 4 weeks out, and I stayed on 5 milligrams of Anavar for 4 weeks, and it worked well. If you follow everything correctly with it, then you can get really great results from very, very little amount of supplementation. But that all depends, because I know like people like load this in their body, and they like it makes you feel different, also psychologically. So some people really like the masculinity, I think, that it brings, because it is a very energizing state. But it's just you can also kill yourself, people, from steroids. Remember, you can also kill yourself. I don't want to say many, but I think there's been a good handful of bodybuilders. I don't know about women yet, and I think Iris Kyle has done a really good job somehow of keeping herself well in shape there. But handful of men have died from overdoing steroids, and so
Oh, it's more than a handful. I mean, when you see someone that's bodybuilding, they're like 30 years old and they die of a heart attack. It's like you kind of know why, basically. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a bodybuilder that I'll talk to you about that I did a podcast with, and they told me what they were on, a female bodybuilder, and I'll tell you how much they were. Like, it was scary, where I was like, oh my God, like, why are you doing that much in that combination? But yeah, some people literally, yeah, they just put like a gallon of that stuff in their veins, and it's just like, oh, come on. But yeah, I mean, that's great. And it's always great to talk about that stuff.